for reasons that I think are sort of widely known, but essentially related to their attitudes and rules related to LGBTQ persons.
We can now move on to the Camp Qwanoes application. Councillor Toporowski, do you want to start the discussion on this one?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I was just bringing this before council to see what the feel around the table of denying it now, but I do like Councillor Justice's motion to relook at these applications that do come through in regards to this and revisiting them, and also that option of 1 year to 5 years or 10 years again. And I was quite shocked it was 10 years, but I guess what Councillor Manhas had mentioned about small organizations having to refill these applications year after year does make sense of setting those time limits. But getting to why I brought it forward is other organizations have pulled their support for this Camp Qwanoes organization, and I was just looking to see what around the table here, how we feel about pulling our support for this as well.
Any comments from council? I think it's more a question for the rest of council for our thoughts on the application. Does that sound about right, Mr. Toporowski? Okay, Councillor Justice and Councillor Findlay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I won't be able to support a tax exemption for the Camp Qwanoes. I take very seriously the fact that our school board and 2 neighboring school boards have decided to break up with them for reasons that I think are sort of widely known, but essentially related to their attitudes and rules related to LGBTQ persons. And I think given municipal policies related to inclusion, equity, and social justice, this certainly raises some red flags for me, and without more information refuting these issues, I would not be able to support granting this organization a permissive tax exemption at this time.
Councillor Findlay.
I think prior to denying a tax exemption that has been in place for years for a group like this, we need to hear from them directly, and whether that's through this process over, as Councillor Justice had recommended, through a workshop that we should hear from this group rather than deny them a tax exemption without allowing them to respond. We're basically saying you're guilty and you can't prove yourself innocent, and that's not how Canadian law works. It's not how we should do things. We should listen to them and understand the position of Councillor Justice regarding the school districts. But at the same time, I still think that Camp Qwanoes should be able to speak directly to us regarding this issue, and so I will be in favor of tax exemption for this group, and definitely a discussion over the next year regarding potential in the future.
Thanks, Councillor Findlay. Any Councillor Justice or Istace?
The other Chris. Only if we used our nicknames here. I do. So 2 parts. Since I'm just curious, I do feel quite strongly on this, being that it has been well vetted, and then the proponent here has had ample opportunity in the public discord to respond, and has chosen to respond in a manner that reaffirms their position. But I do think in this case, if council feels fit, that maybe at the next committee meeting, we invite them to speak to their application. But I must say, though, that I do feel the same as Councillor Justice does, and I'd be equally willing to make the motion to deny their request for tax exemption. But I would like to hear them. I don't think this would be the opportunity for them. I think maybe you're saying, Councillor Findlay, bold, that people were slinging unwarranted mud at them was a little bold on your part. I think that it has been a little bit warranted, and maybe this is the opportunity for them to say either direction for it. So I guess it would be feeling the bellwether here of what council feels of maybe just deferring this one for them to give them, or is that something we've done? I don't know if there's past precedents here. I don't want to just say, yeah, let's approve it and let's get a new policy in place to address these tough things. I don't think that's the right thing on this one with this particular nature, mostly because it's not now, again, it still even gets the other thing. There's been a long-standing discussion on tax exemptions for churches. So this one's, if we deny this, because this is a faith-based choice on this place. But the biggest thing is that it does actually go against the charter in regards to hiring practices. So it isn't about religious beliefs. This one's really about exclusiveness, and then as well the hiring practices that they employ to the public as when they solicit employees. So we want to create, it's in what we all feel, and we've all said we want to create good, safe, inclusive environments. And in this case, I would like to hear from them in a public venue if they're up for it. So I'm leaning towards denying them, but I want to give them the opportunity.
Councillor Calio.
This is a faith-based organization, a church society, and they have the right to hire who they want, and they have their hiring practices. And I believe under the Charter of Rights in Canada, churches have an exemption almost to the Charter of Rights in hiring practices. They are allowed to hire people on the basis of the beliefs that they hold. And they've spoken out by their hiring practices on the beliefs that they hold, and I don't hold to those beliefs myself personally. My sons, both of them, went to Camp Qwanoes, and it's an amazing place. But that being said, I don't think it's right for the municipality of North Cowichan to support an organization that can, and I don't think we should contribute to this organization when we don't support their hiring practices. And as a matter of fact, this year we came up with a council policy that spoke to this. And so I won't be supporting for their permissive tax exemption.
Thanks, Councillor Calio. I know Councillor Topper is going to speak, but you haven't spoken this yet. Councillor Manas, so I'll go to you first.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I agree with everything what Councillor Calio said, but I support this tax exemption because what's going to be next? You're going to Sikh temple is not going to be good because their priest is has to be a Sikh. It can be Punjabi or whatever. I just think this is or a Christian that so something else, another religion, a Muslim religion or something like that. I just think that this is an attack on religion myself. I just did because I'm just so fed up with the attack on religion from everybody around. Not from this table, but just in general.
Councillor Topper, I think Councillor Calio just wanted to respond really quick, and then can I come to you?
I'd just like to, I don't want to get into a back and forth, but the thing is this organization and their hiring practices are what they are, and they've spoken out with those, and I am in no way against churches or any kind of faith-based group whatsoever. They have the right to their beliefs, and whatever they believe is up to them, and whatever I believe is up to me. And I have no problem with any church or organization in this community, but I do have a problem with a group that limits and says that certain people cannot be hired depending on their beliefs. It trumps the beliefs of the people who want to be hired by them, and I believe that's not fair, and I won't be supporting this.
Thanks, Councillor Calio. Councillor Toporowski.
Thank you, Mayor. Yeah, I just wanted to hear from everyone first and have your say, so to speak. I'd like to pass a motion to deny this application. And I just, one of our emails that we received today was looking at the funding that this place does get. And Councillor Findlay had mentioned it earlier about, you know, they can afford not to be supported this time again. We have a review that we could look at in a year from now on these applications that come forward as well. But again, you know, we've been hearing out in our community about this organization and what happened. And again, yes, everybody does have a choice to go. I know some families that I interact with have sent their children there this year, but it's their choice, right? And I'm not, you know, saying that they should have or shouldn't have. Everybody hears, and that's their choice. We're not shutting them down or anything. We're just denying the application. So I'd like to move the motion to deny their application this year. Thank you.
It's been moved. We have a seconder, seconded by Councillor Istace. Any further comments? So all in favor? And opposed? Councillors Manhas and Findlay opposed. The motion carries.